Hi, I'm Tessa, a veteran educator working in the field of special education.
And I'm Kim, mom of 2 autistic boys and a late diagnosed autistic person myself.
And welcome to Totally Over the Spectrum, where we dive into embracing autism through understanding and support.
Welcome to episode 64, where we're talking about autistic hyperfocus.
Okay.
Before we jump in, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and please consider subscribing or following, depending on the platform you're listening on. If you haven't yet, we really appreciate it. It helps us out, and it is completely free.
We also love to hear comments from people and suggestions on topics or particular topics that or situations that you would like us to talk about. So we welcome those all the time.
All right, so let's jump in. Hyperfocus.
Okay.
Definition. Got to start with a definition.
Knock it out here, Ken.
It is an intense focus or deep and intense concentration where you block everything else out.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll hear the word hyperfixation used, which is a little different than hyperfocus. So that's like an intense interest in a particular topic that lasts for a prolonged period of time. Hyperfocus is usually for a shorter period of time. So I might get hyperfixated on, say, leather working because I like making stuff. And then for months or years, I might spend a lot of my free time learning all the information I can on that topic. Like I could spend an entire morning hyper-focused on videos of people demonstrating leather working techniques. And then I realize, I have stuff to do. I should go make some cookies for Peter or something. And then I'll hyper-focus on making cookies. So there's a little bit of a difference, right? You can hyper-focus on your hyperfixation. Just to make things easy.
Okay. Just to make it easy. Yeah. Just throw it all in the blender there.
What is bothersome about the idea of hyperfocus is that it's generally referred to as a maladaptive behavior. But for neurotypical people, a similar state of intense absorption in a subject would be called what they call it flow. And that's a positive thing if you've got flow. So really, flow and hyperfocus are talking about the same thing, but it's a spectrum. So it goes from like a shallow flow state to a hyperfocus state. And neurotypical people are more in that shallow flow end, and autistic people are more in the intense hyperfocus end. So I first wanted to say that hyperfocus is pleasurable. So it's like being absorbed in something feels really good.
I agree with you. And it is also beneficial, right? It is beneficial in obtaining knowledge and a skill, right? When you're able to hyper-focus on that, it does have its benefits, right? Acquiring all of that knowledge, acquiring all of that skill, which can then be used later on and a platform for the next level of learning. Yeah. Why not use it to your advantage, right?
Yep. You can think of it like entering a sort of meditative state where you have a shift in theta brain waves, and those are calming, and they're actually healing waves. So theta waves are also important in learning and memory. So it can be a great coping mechanism. Like people spend a lot of time and money learning how to meditate to reduce anxiety. And all I need is a good hyperfixation and some alone time.
Yep, absolutely. It presents the opportunity for growth, right? So I agree with you on that.
So then why do people say that it's maladaptive?
Well, because of the difficulty shifting, right? That's when, I can use Alex, your Alex as an example. He can get hyperfixated on a certain enjoyable task that he forgot to eat and became dizzy and lightheaded as a result of it. So that hyperfixation, if not kept in check, can lead us down a path that we really don't want to go.
Yeah. So partly considering hyperfocus, you keep saying hyperfixation and now I'm going to get it wrong. considering hyperfocus to be maladaptive is partly just perspective, but you're right. It does come with some potential issues like time blindness. So yeah, you forget to eat, you forget to sleep, you neglect your other responsibilities. Yes, I'm not saying that's not a thing that happens. And you're right again, transitioning. So it can be incredibly painful to be pulled out of a hyperfocus, which makes me really grumpy. So especially if it happens repeatedly, frequently, no, that then the pain becomes compounded, and I am going to get very irritable, and eventually I will have a meltdown. So I do not allow myself to get into a state of hyperfocus when other people are around, because if someone needs me, I have to stop, and I know that that's going to be dysregulating, so I just don't do it.
Yeah, so that is actually when we do discuss strategies, that was going to be one of my strategies, is giving yourself the opportunity, time, and surroundings that are going to allow you to do that, and come out of it naturally. So, and I think one of the other situations where hyperfocus can be detrimental is when you're oblivious to your surroundings, right? That can end up, causing you to, get hurt, and disorientated easily, and then very, very quickly go into a state of shutdown, right? You become so dysregulated as a result of it, um, you know, you just freeze. So that is one of the situations in where it can be detrimental for you.
Yeah, Alex has gotten on the wrong bus, and gotten off at the wrong bus stop, and then not know where he was and walked totally in the wrong direction away from home. And he didn't have a cell phone at that time because he was young, and he got on the wrong school bus. So he Forrest Gumped it all the way across town, like, and he didn't stop. So I said, "What? Why didn't you stop at a place of business, and just tell them the situation and ask if you could use their phone? I understand why you wouldn't ask a stranger, but you could have gone into a business." And he said, "Well, because it's a business phone. A business phone wouldn't be for personal use." Okay, yeah. We had never explicitly discussed that situation, so I can see why you would think that. And he didn't stop until he saw a public library, and he knew that that was a safe place, and he went into the library and asked them to use the phone. And I said to him, what would you have done if you hadn't have found a library? And he said, "Well, I guess I would have just kept walking." I'm like,
Okay.
did you not realize that nothing looked familiar?" And he said, "Well, it sort of looked familiar." We got him a cell phone after that.
Yes, yes, we did.
It was
Yep.
time now. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Not he was hyper focused on his thoughts. So he was not paying attention to what he was actually doing, and that could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah. Thankfully, everything worked out. So he's good.
Yeah, I got a few gray hair, but everything worked out great.
Okay. It kind of brings the highlights in your hair, Kim.
There you
So
go.
kudos to,
Yeah.
to your kiddo
Thanks for
for doing
those.
that.
I think hyper focusing on negative things can also be not great.
Yeah, it's not productive at all.
No, that is
It
very
is.
distressing and damaging. So, do you have any strategies for that?
Well, I think what it is acknowledging it, right? You've got to give yourself the opportunity to acknowledge that hyperfixation state. You have to do it, and you have to respect it, especially from those of us who are supporting. Asking that person to stop is going to be more detrimental, but acknowledging it, giving the opportunity for it, and respecting it is going to be crucial. The strategies I would use is when you start going down that negative is self-talk, right? You're going to have to self-talk if nobody else is around there. But one of the other strategies which you commonly use is talk it out with somebody, right? And those are going to be crucial to helping you maintain your regulation and bring that anxiety level down.
Yeah, I do walk around and angrily say to myself, "It's fine, it's fine, it's fine." You say it enough times, you'll believe it.
Yeah. So that would be one of my top strategies over there.
Um,
For this situation, let's bring, Peter into this. You're a level 3 non-speaking who is going to find it difficult to express those emotions to you. Walking, right? Just walking it out is really, really helpful. Having those gross motor skills really activate, having that energy, just getting it out there, walking it out, and just expelling all of that, right? All of that negative energy, all of that negative emotion, just get it out of your system. And when you come back from a nice long walk, you feel calmer, your body is tired, and you're able to then naturally shift into that relaxative state.
yeah, people say that exercise produces all sorts of happy chemicals. I don't find that it does, but for other people, apparently it does. Um, yeah,
It
you're
does.
absolutely right.
It doesn't. It just gives you the opportunity to get rid of that, right? So use it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost anything.
Well, and honestly, being mobile and being able to um, exercise is just good for your overall health,
It
and it
is.
is. Yeah, there are lots of studies that say it's good for your mental health. Uh, some people also talk about hyperfocus leading to social isolation. So they consider it a maladaptive behavior because you're so hyper focused on something that you are not spending any time or very little time socializing with other people. I feel like that's only bad if you don't like it, right?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, I think, right? If it's for self-preservation, it's great. But then again, it does not give you the opportunity um, to work on those social skills which are at a deficit or in the first place, right? So it is a bit of a double-edged sword. Yes, it allows you to relax and go into that meditative state, but at the same time, when you hyper focus on that, it doesn't allow you to practice those much needed social skills in order to be an effective community member, sustain a job, peers, all of those, you know, everything that's needed to function in society. So I
Yeah,
look at it as that way.
I think like most things, it works. Everything works well in moderation.
Yeah.
So social isolation helps me regulate myself, and yeah, there is a moderation line in there somewhere where which would be specific to every person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the other strategies is setting yourself a time limit, right? Setting yourself a timer. I would start implementing a timer in when I'm not in a hyper focus state so that it starts preparing my body and my mind for understanding when the timer goes off, the task needs to be completed. You can't implement that strategy straight off hop when you're in a hyperfixation state or a hyperfocus state. You cannot do that. It's just going to, you know, cause you to be so dysregulated that it's not going to be an effective strategy. You've got to start implementing it in different aspects before you start bringing it into a hyperfocus state.
Yeah, I do set a lot of timers, a lot of alarms for things because I there are places I have to be at certain times. There are things I have to do at certain times. And I will not allow myself to get into a hyper focus if I know that I have a limited amount of time. Because if it's only going to be for an hour, it's not enough. That is just going to be painful no matter what. Like, I really need a good 3-4 hour block of time to completely submerge myself in something. And if I don't have that 4 hours, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So understanding your limits and acknowledging them and giving yourself the permission and blocking that time out, right? You need to now, start, and bringing that executive function aspect of it, which is going to help you increase that, of saying, I'm going to block this time out for myself, just like a person would like going to the gym, going for yoga, going for Pilates. This is your way of being able to regulate. Why not do it for yourself?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I did not realize that I was allowed to block out time for myself in my calendar and say to someone in an honest way, I'm busy. Because doing something for yourself doesn't sound like you're busy. So I know it sounds odd, but it's like having permission. I had to have permission from someone else to tell me that it was okay to carve out time for yourself during the day and say, oh, no, I have stuff I'm doing. So I'm not available.
It's funny how we have to use language in order to appease other people, right? If you said to somebody, hey, I block time out for myself to be able to just be by myself, and people would probably, in all honesty, if people are being honest, will probably go, oh, that's a little bit strange. But if you said to somebody, hey, I blocked some time out because I have a Pilates class, people are like, oh yeah, like wonderful, amazing.
Oh yeah, do
So-
something for yourself. Yeah.
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 And I sometimes I just said, I look at people and I go, where's the disconnect? Like, hello, why is this happening? Right? Time for yourself is time for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. And frankly, it's none of your business. So sorry.
There's the mantra for everyone today. It's none of your business.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
All right, that's all my things.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's a great thing I love it when kids can hyperfocus when I'm teaching them a skill or a task. I accomplish so much in a short period of time. I love it. But at the same time, it can get a little bit carried away. So finding that balance is going to be great. It is not a bad thing. So I love hyperfocus.
Yeah, me too. It feels so good.
It does. You get lots done.
Yeah, I do actually get a lot done too.
There goes my squirrel brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've stopped talking about your ADHD. Until
Okay.
you go get an assessment done, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. There we
Okay,
go.
that's good.
Okay.
All right. Well, till the next time, folks, have a great day.
We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. If you know someone who might find this episode helpful, feel free to share. Also, check out our website and socials linked in the description.